Hey everyone, welcome to the beginning of our July 4th weekend. I thought it would be fun to do a summer look, very bright colors, just fun, not specific to the 4th of July necessarily, but definitely a summer look. And I'm doing it all with products from Walmart because this video is sponsored by Walmart and I am excited to use some old favorites, but I found some real gems that are new to me, and I brought back a couple of products that I haven't used in years that are just incredible, and I'm rediscovering them again. So keep watching. Let's get comfortable and play with some makeup. So I have my hair pulled back, and like all of my videos, I will have listed down in the description box all the products that I'm using in the order in which I apply them so we can follow along. First, we're gonna start with a new to me primer. This is from Hard Candy, and it is their long wear primer. And I've used one of their other hydrating primers, but this one in particular I'm excited about because it's summer, makeup melts and slides off. It's not clear. It has a little tint to it, but when you put it on the face, as you can see, there's nothing to it. It just goes on clear. And I am especially paying attention to the areas where makeup tends to fall off my face, which is around my nose, around my mouth, and my chin. So excited about this foundation. You've heard me talk about it already in my last video, in my favorites video. I cannot wait for you to see it at work. So the foundation that I'm talking about is this Flawless in Real Life Skin Perfecting Foundation from the brand Woma Beauty, but it's Woma by Sharon C. And I am wearing it in the shade Fair Lady T5. It's a little deeper than my normal skin tone. I did use a new self-tanner. Look at my hands. We will be talking about that later after I've worn it for a little while and can give you full feedback. But in the meantime, I got a foundation just a teeny bit darker than my usual skin tone so it can match up better. Has nice glass bottle. Oh my gosh, my hands. And a pump. I mean, what more could you ask for? I'm going to dot it on. It doesn't really have an odor. It has a great shade range. And I'm just going to pat that on and then buff it in. The coverage on this is amazing. It's not a thick, heavy foundation by any means. It feels very weightless on the skin, but look at that coverage. And even without this long-lasting primer, every time I've worn it without the primer, it still lasts at least 10-12 hours with no creasing, no wearing off. It's such a good foundation. I hope the lighting holds up. We have storms rolling in. I'm going to do a little more on my chin because I have a little redness there. We really could use the storms. The humidity has been unseasonably high, and I'm hoping some rain will drive that away. Let me zoom you in a little bit more. Look how pretty it is. I mean, it looks like skin. I don't look like I'm wearing a mask. You can still see some of my freckles come through and stuff, but it's just, if you try one product from today's video, try this foundation. It's just under $15, incredible shade range. I'm so impressed with it. I will be buying more in different colors as I go through my self-tanning spectrum through the summer. Okay, let's do concealer. I pulled these out. I don't know why I forgot about them. They're the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealers. I have 3 shades. I'm going to use the lightest one for under my eyes. It might be too light. Ooh, that's really light. Like crazy light. I'm not going to use the lightest one. We're going to use the next one up. I think it's light 1, 2 maybe? Yeah, that's going to be fine. They've really extended their shade range. I'm going to do this under the eyes. I'm looking off to the side that I have a mirror there. I'm going to also use it kind of as a reverse contour and a little bit here. And then I love, this is my favorite beauty sponge. Obviously, look at it. Probably it's time to buy a new one, which is fine because it's so inexpensive. This is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer Sponge. I don't use it for just concealer. I use it for thicker foundations. Obviously, I'm using it for concealer, specifically under the eye is best. I use it to blend in all of my powder stuff. I love the little tip at the end. I'm sure I'm going to end up having a whole drawer full of these things. I have 2 already, and I love them. I'm looking at my face to see if I need any concealer. It's looking pretty good. I do want to experiment a little bit and see if this darkest one is the right shade, or if it's too light. Oop, and the light's coming out. Oop, clouds come in, clouds come out. Let's just do it right here. That works. I should probably pick up another one of these in just one shade darker. It really did a great job of covering. Okay, we're gonna ignore the bright sunshine and keep moving. So I do need to set the concealer under my eyes. I'm going with an oldie but a goodie. I'm not sure they still carry the loose powder version of this, but they do carry this in the pressed powder version, which I'm kind of excited about because that I can throw in my purse. It's the e.l.f. HD powder. So I'm just going to, wow, that is so fine. Tap a little bit into the lid, take the tip of the sponge and pat that in. Filming in natural daylight is best, but it's tricky. I also like to do this finer HD powder around my nose and the lines around my lips. And then to powder my face, I'm sure you know this trick by now. I love using a powder foundation to set my liquid foundation for a little extra coverage and a little extra staying power. I'm using one that's really good for more dry skin. It's the L'Oreal Age Perfect Creamy Powder Foundation. I'm hoping this shade works. It's 325 Ivory Rose. It's a little darker than my skin tone, which I prefer using a slightly deeper powder foundation to set my makeup because it just adds some warmth to the face and it's really not strong enough that you're gonna see any kind of difference. Let's get into one of my favorite things to do, which is contouring. Do you guys remember this one? This is from Wet n Wild. It's their contouring palette. I have it in the light. It's called Dulce de Leche. I think there's a light version and a deeper version. What's really neat is if you're not all that comfortable or familiar with how to contour, they have a whole guide on the back of where to place your contour. So that's helpful. I'm gonna use this to sculpt my nose using obviously the darker side in the powder to see better. I'm also going to use this same brush to contour my cheekbones. And a little bit on the jaw. Then I'm going to take my original foundation brush and just buff it in a little bit. This is where it is great to pull out that sponge again. It's barely damp, by the way. And pat that in just so it blends a little bit better. This is where I'm revisiting another old favorite. I finally purchased the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the new packaging. This is just the basic bronzer. And this is a great way to blend in that contour. I'm just gonna go over everywhere where I had it and then kind of above it and below it as well. The contour is to add dimension back to the face after you've kind of evened out your whole skin tone with foundation, and then the bronzer is more to just warm it up, give some glow, not glow, give some warmth and a little more dimension as well. I'm on the fence as to whether or not I am matching. I think my body is still, oh, and here comes the sun again. My body is still a little deeper than my head. So I'm going to take another favorite. This is the L'Oreal True Lumi Bronzer in the lightest shade, but I'm gonna use it like a setting powder. And I know that sounds crazy, but it looks like it glows, but it doesn't. So I'm gonna use this to just warm up my skin and tie it all in. Then we're gonna go in with another old favorite. This is the Wet n Wild highlighting powder, and I have it in the shade Precious Petals. I used to love this back in the day, and I don't know why I don't reach for it like I used to anymore, but we're gonna pop it back on. I picked the Precious Petals option because I just feel like it's the closest to skin tone and very summery, but there are so many shades of this depending on your skin tone or what you feel like wearing. They have one that's a lilac that's just beautiful. I think would look great on really, really fair skin. And now I want to talk about blush. So I love Milani blushes, and I've had some for a very long time, but I couldn't find my original Milani Luminoso. So I picked up a new one. This is a baked blush, and it's, look at that beautiful coral shade. But then I also saw, sometimes I like a matte blush more in the summer than in the winter because I always say Mother Nature provides her own glow via perspiration, so maybe I don't need that much glow. So I picked up Tea Rose. It's one of their matte blushes. And this is the brand new one. Like literally just got this last week, but then I went into my makeup drawer and I found a really old Tea Rose shade. And look at the difference. So the lighter one is the new version, and this pinker version is the old version. So it looks like they've changed it, obviously, a little bit. I don't think it's because it's darkened over time. My original one is still very creamy and soft to the touch. The lighter color on top is the new one, and the much brighter pink one is the old version. I think I'm gonna double up on my blush. So first I'm gonna use the Luminoso with my favorite blush brush of all time. It's a pinky, peachy coral, so it can go with more peach tones that you're using, coral tones, and a little bit of pink. It's very glowy. So what I'm gonna do, just for fun, obviously I normally would not layer a million blushes, is I'm gonna take the newer one. It's matte and it's lighter, so this will soften up that glow a little bit and honestly help it blend. I did go a little bit crazy with the highlighter. Okay, we are done with the face. Let's move on to eyes, and I will zoom you in even more for that. Okay, before we start with eyebrows, I'm gonna use the Milani eyeshadow primer, which has a serious cult following. And I could put that on with my finger, but I'm gonna continue to use this sponge. It is really a workhorse just to tap that in. Then I am going to quickly brush up my brows and again pull out an older product that is just super good. And again, have no idea why I stopped using it. It's the Wet n Wild retractable brow pencil, specifically in ash brown. I love that flat tip. Love it. I'm gonna quickly draw on my brows. I don't do anything special. I go up on the inner corner and then just kind of outline the bottom, pull it out, and then outline the top. Pull that out and then fill in the holes. This is a softer, creamier pencil than some of the other ones I tend to talk about, which is great if you just want to slap on your brows in a hurry. It's a little darker than I think I wanted. I have another shade in taupe, but my favorite brow mascara, the NYX Brow Mascara in blonde specifically, definitely lightens the brows, so it'll help. Can you see? It might be a subtle difference, but this is the one with the brow mascara, and I feel like it looks a little bit lighter. Okay, I did see this palette in the store, and I had to pick it up. It's from a new brand that's carried at Walmart, and it's KAB Beauty. There it is, KAB Cosmetics. And this is the Day and Night eyeshadow palette. And I picked it up because I thought the colors were just stunning and beautiful. And I love how my look turned out, but I'm going to tell you, I don't know that I would recommend this palette. It's pricier for a drugstore palette. I feel like the pigmentation, you really need to work to get some color payoff. I am gonna work with this palette today because I want you to see how it performs, even if it doesn't perform well. I will tell you though, and what I will link to is if you want a similar combination of neutrals and color, is this one, the Profusion Festival palette. It has basically all the same shades and then some, and the quality here is fantastic. We're going to do this one just so you can see how it works, and I'm gonna start like I always do with a matte tone in the crease, and we're gonna start with this lightest color here that is called Naked. And it's almost, there's nothing to it, but it's gonna help blend out everything else. Just to deepen it up a little bit more, I'm gonna go with Sand, which is just a true matte mid-tone brown. And I'm making sure to push it up into that hooded part of my crease so we can have some more lid space to play with when we get to the color. Also gonna go in with a pencil brush and put that same mid-tone brown underneath. So I am going to use Twinkle Twinkle. It's that lilac-y fuchsia pink. I don't know what you call it. It's a pretty shade. I'm gonna use my finger, and you can see it on my finger. It's beautiful. And I'm gonna press it into the inner, I'd say third to start anyway. See, it's not as pigmented as I would like. I would really prefer it to just really pop. I'm gonna actually pull this all the way across. And I'm gonna layer Sunset, which is kind of like a duochrome corally pink. I'm gonna layer that a little bit on the top of it actually, for a little more dimension. Then I'm gonna take Burgundy right here, another shimmer shade, on my index finger, and I'm gonna focus this on the outer half. This one actually does have quite a bit of payoff. I'm pleased with this shade. Then I'm gonna go in with a clean brush and kind of go back and forth over where these shades overlap and pull it up into the crease a little bit. And then just to make them blend better, I'm gonna go back in with that sunset color right there and just tap it across where the two shades overlap. Now, as you can see, when I open my eyes, you really can't see anything. So I'm going to take a more synthetic brush and I'm going to bring these colors up a little bit higher into the socket line, like so. And then just to deepen up that outer corner a little bit, I'm going to go in with the darkest matte here, this deepest brown called Cocoa, good name. And just do a little bit in each of the outer corners, pull it up a little bit onto that hood, just to get some definition in there. And there we go with the eyes. Okay, I'm gonna curl my lashes, and then before we get to mascara, I do wanna set all of this. Let's pull out the best setting spray for summer, the Milani Make It Last Setting Spray in Matte. Shake it up first, that's very important, and then spray away. The reason you spray your setting mist on before you do mascara is because if this hits your wet mascara, it will make your mascara run. I have two different mascaras to share with you. Another oldie but goodie that I haven't used in a really long time, the CoverGirl Clump Crusher Mascara. This is great all around, but it's particularly great on bottom lashes. So that's where we're gonna use it. It's a very finely bristled, like a rubber bristle brush. So great for really getting in there with that detail work. Don't love using waterproof mascara, even in the summer. So I look for mascaras, especially in the summer, that are not gonna run, flake, or smudge. And this is a great option for those of us that still want a washable, non-waterproof mascara. And then for the top, I'm gonna add primer first. L'Oreal Lash Primer. Did you know this shade is called Millennial Pink? I do this more, not for longevity, but to separate all of my lashes and make sure that the mascara I put on next evenly coats everything. And then, this is a favorite for a while now, the L'Oreal Air Volume Mega Mascara. Okay, let's talk lips. I picked up another new product. I saw it with the eyeshadow palette, so I picked it up. I thought the packaging was really cute with the little crystals, and I mean, it's fun. And it's called Bedoya Beauty, and the shade is Birthday Suit. And I think it's a beautiful shade, and it's a little bit matte, but I decided it's not the color that I want for today's look. I want all pink everywhere. So another one that's a favorite of mine in a shade I've had for a long time, but I repurchased a newer one. It's the L'Oreal Color Shine Lipstick in the shade Polished Tango. I'm gonna slap that on. Look how pretty and shiny. There is not a bad color in the bunch. I think I reviewed these a long time ago. They have since come out with so many more shades. And this really doesn't need any kind of gloss at all on top of it. Look at that shine. Let me pull my hair down. The shine is so pretty, but I saw this and I had to give it a shot. This is also from L'Oreal, and it's their Glowing Lip Gloss. And I think this shade, it's in the description box. Oh yes, see as in like ocean, see you soon. It's just another layer of fun, and it smells so good. Now I have very shiny lips. I think I've used some real standout products. I would say for sure the foundation is incredible. Definitely give this a shot. Two of my all-time favorite beauty tools. I have to also highlight the e.l.f. Camo Concealer Sponge and the Flower Beauty Precision Blush Brush, two of my favorites. So many great things. The lipstick, again, is an old favorite and a continual favorite. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. I was going to say down in the description box. Down in the comments, let me know if any of the products I used today are in your everyday routine or some of your all-time favorites. I would love to hear back from you. Again, thank you to Walmart for sponsoring this video. I hope you all have a happy, safe, and fun-filled weekend. Happy 4th of July, and I will see you on Sunday with some more content. Until then, have a great weekend. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.